Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be a book haul. I have 17 books to haul today. I actually have quite a few special editions, and I've actually read a majority of the books in this haul. There are maybe like 7 or 8 that I haven't read, but I've read everything else. I did not expect to buy this many books in the last month or two, but there were a lot of new releases and a lot of special editions that I finally got my hands on, so everything just kind of came all at once. So I have a lot of books to haul today. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the haul. The first book I have is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. This is obviously her newest release. I have very mixed feelings when it comes to Ali Hazelwood. I feel like my favorite by her so far has been Bride, but I still only gave that book like 3 stars or maybe 3.5. I didn't love it, but I liked the idea and the concept. I just feel like her books are not that romance heavy for me, if that makes sense. Like, I need more of the romance. This one I've heard is very different from all of her other books. There is more sex scenes. A lot of people are calling it erotica. I don't know if that is what it's classified as, because when I think of erotica, I think of 50 Shades. So is this on that same level? I don't know. I haven't read it yet, so we'll see. I personally think I'm going to really enjoy this one, and that's why I did pick it up. But this might be my last chance with Ali Hazelwood, unless she continues to write paranormal romance. Then maybe I'll buy that, but this might be my last try. And I know I keep saying that, and then I buy her newest one, but I truly feel like this might be the last one that I try from her if I don't like it. I should mention I'm going through the little stack that I haven't read yet first. So we also have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This is obviously her newest release. I have heard nothing but wonderful things about this. I finally read Yours Truly, so I'm all caught up. I just need to read this one. Apparently this follows 2 people who, every time that they date somebody and they break up, their ex finds their soulmate. So I think they decide to date each other and then break up and hopefully meet their own soulmate. It sounds really fun and interesting, and I love this cover. I definitely want to try to read this sometime this month. Then we have my most anticipated release of the entire year, and that is A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. I am very, very excited to read this. I loved The Dead Romantics and The 7-Year Slip. Those were both of my favorite books of those years. I've heard really good early reviews of this, and recently I've heard some mixed reviews, so I'm not sure how I will feel about it, but I'm hoping I love it. All I know about this is that the heroine either goes to this town that is basically from her favorite book, or she gets trapped in a book and she falls in love with the book boyfriend. I've also heard that it's enemies to lovers, which is interesting because Ashley's other books were friends to lovers somewhat, so I am excited to see how she does that. But yeah, I'm very, very, very excited to read this. I also love the cover. It is gorgeous. Then we have Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This is the first book in the Never After series. This is kind of a random purchase for me because I never really thought about reading this book. It's on my Goodreads TBR, but I never really thought about it until I think there's a new one that's coming out in the series, and I decided to read the summary of this book, and I honestly thought it was a fairy tale retelling in a fairy tale way. I just thought it was a dark fairy tale romance. It's not. It's just a dark contemporary romance inspired by fairy tales or fictional Disney characters or whatever. I love dark romance. It has been a while since I've read some really good dark romance, and I've heard that this series is very addicting and fast-paced and entertaining, so I thought I would give it a try. I might actually read this for a vlog, so we'll see. I think that this follows this man who wants to take revenge on an enemy, and he hooks up with his enemy's daughter. The next two I haven't read yet either, but I did show in a vlog. So we have Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. This is the first book in the Gold Rush Ranch series. I have not read this series yet. I wanted to wait for these beautiful Bloom editions, and they are slowly getting released, so I'm excited to have this first book. I cannot wait to read it. It is obviously cowboy romance, and I've heard really good things about the series. I have heard better things about the later books in the series, but I still wanted to give the first book a try. I think I might actually just end up reading the entire series, even if I don't love this first book. But we'll see how I feel about the characters and the whole setting and the world and everything. I believe the hero works on his family farm, and they hire the heroine to help train the horses. Yeah, the race horses. I'm very excited to read this, and I might actually read it for a vlog very, very soon. Then we have Leather and Lark by Brynne Weaver. This is the second book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. I have not read this yet, but I'm very excited to. I have heard mixed things, but I am going to kind of go into it with an open mind and know that it is possibly going to be pretty different from the first book. If I go into this book with that mindset, I feel like I might actually enjoy it. I believe this is Enemies to Lovers and A Marriage of Convenience. And of course, the hero is a contract killer. These other two books I did show in the same video that I showed Leather and Lark and Off to the Races, but I have read both of these, so you will see them in my next wrap up. So we have Crossroads by Daphne Perry. This is the first book in the Haven River Ranch series. This follows a heroine who goes to this ranch every summer, and she ends up falling in love with one of the boys of the family that run the ranch, and they kind of have this on and off again relationship throughout all these years. Something happens that kind of separates the two of them, and now it's been years later, and the heroine is back on the ranch, but she is now the owner of the ranch. It's a very angsty second chance romance. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to talk about it in my wrap up. Then we have All My Kisses for You by Monica Murphy. This is the spin-off of the Lancaster Prep series. This is like the next generation. I did read this in June, so I will also talk about it in my May and June wrap up. This is about Willow, who is Crew and Wren's daughter, and she falls in love with the star quarterback on the football team of their high school. I did somewhat enjoy this. I thought it was different than A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. Like, it definitely had different vibes, but overall it was fun, and I will talk more about it in my wrap up. Then we have two books that are part of a series. One I've read, one I haven't read yet, but that is The Graham Effect and The Dixon Rule by Elle Kennedy. I also got the indigo edition of The Dixon Rule, so it is a little different. I think the green is different, and maybe the pink, I don't really know, but this is the indigo edition. This may be shocking to you that I have both of these and that I read The Graham Effect, because I basically said I never wanted to read any more books by Elle Kennedy. I just honestly haven't been impressed with her newest releases over the last couple of years. I kind of just thought that she was no longer an author for me, and I was just over her books. However, I kept hearing a lot of great things about both of these books. The Dixon Rule had just come out, so I kept hearing a lot of good things about it, and I just felt like I should read the first book before jumping into The Dixon Rule, so I did read The Graham Effect, like I said. I liked it enough to pick up the second book. I will obviously talk about The Graham Effect in my May and June wrap up, but I haven't read The Dixon Rule yet. I just wasn't really in the mood to continue yet, but I do own it, and I do plan on eventually reading it. We'll see. I might just wait for the hockey season in the fall. I genuinely feel like a part of me can never say never when it comes to authors or certain books, because clearly I'm out here buying Elle Kennedy books, which I never thought I would do. I genuinely was not really interested in The Graham Effect when it first came out. So I don't know what possessed me to pick it up and then pick up the second book, but here we are. And these are both just college hockey romances. They are technically a spin-off of the Off-Campus series. Well, the first book is. The second book I don't think has any ties whatsoever. The next book I have also already read, and I actually already own an edition of this, but this is the new edition, and that is Half-Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the first book in the Covenant series, and this is the new Bloom edition. It is gorgeous. I love the cover, and I love the purple sprayed edges. I think that's really fun. This is a YA paranormal urban fantasy series about Greek gods. It's kind of like Vampire Academy, but with Greek gods. It's a very fun series, and there's also like a spin-off series, and I just really enjoyed this series back in the day, and I do plan on eventually doing a reread. And I just wanted to own these new beautiful editions with the colorful sprayed edges. The whole series will have first print colorful sprayed edges, which is very exciting. So I am planning on buying the entire series. These next books kind of have like a lot of explanation, so I'm going to try to explain everything super fast, but they are basically all like special editions. So the first ones I have are the Fairy Loot editions of the Dark Elements series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So I did buy these Fairy Loot editions. They weren't initially on my radar, but there were copies left over in the Fairy Trove, I think is what it's called. So I ended up buying some because they still had some left over that were signed. And I thought, you know, why not? I love this series and I love JLA. They were expensive, but honestly, they are gorgeous. We have the first book, White Hot Kiss. It is just very stunning. There's also this beautiful sprayed designed edges. It's gorgeous. Then we have some inside art. And then the art in the back is the same as well. It's the same pages. Then we have some art on the bare hardcover. And then of course it is signed, which is beautiful. I think I have one other JLA book that is signed, but her signature is different, I'm pretty sure, which is crazy. Then we have the second book, which is Stone Cold Touch in this beautiful green. It is stunning. And again, some gorgeous edges. Here we have Layla and Roth. I love this. It is so pretty. And then on the front, we have Layla. And then again, this one is also signed. Then we have the third and final book in this beautiful blue, Every Last Breath. I love these edges. I think these ones are my favorites. I just think the roses are beautiful. Then we have Layla and Zane. I almost forgot his name for a second. And then we have the front, which is Zane as well. And then again, it is also signed. The last three books kind of have a little bit more of a story attached to them. So I have been on the hunt for very specific books and specific special editions. I'm still looking for one more. I'm looking for the Fairy Loot edition of the 7-Year Slip. I had posted an Instagram post asking for people's advice or opinions on good Facebook groups for buy, sell, and trade for books. And a couple people reached out and asked me to check like Mercari or Pango or whatever, but those do not work in Canada. I can't buy anything from there in Canada. Like you have to have like a zip code and a US mailing address, which I don't have. So if it were that easy, I would have had these special editions a long time ago, but unfortunately they don't work in Canada. So I kind of just have to rely on eBay, Depop, and Facebook buy and sell and trade groups. And from that Instagram post, I had a lovely and beautiful viewer, Maria, who reached out and said she had one of my wishlist books and that she would be willing to mail it to me. I was very hesitant at first just because I didn't really know if she was trying to scam me or whatever, just because it was on Instagram. It wasn't like an official, you know, like group or something. She just reached out to me and I was a little nervous at first, but you know, I was so desperate for another copy of this book that I just had to have faith. In the end, it was not a scam, and I'm so grateful to you, Maria, for sending me this book. I cannot wait to reread it, and that is Chasing the Moon by S.M. Soto. If you don't know, this is one of my favorite books of all time. I think it is my favorite book. I just am always hesitant to say that because you can't purchase this book anywhere. This is no longer in print. The author had a huge plagiarism scandal and she left the internet. And yes, I already do own this edition and the original People on the Cover edition, but I wanted one more edition just to annotate. Like, I want to have 2 copies that are pristine, and then I want to have 1 copy that I annotate and destroy. So I was on the hunt for a 3rd copy. It didn't matter if it was this cover or the other cover with the people on it. I didn't care. I just wanted another edition so that I could reread it and annotate it. And luckily, Maria sent me this one, and I am so incredibly grateful and happy that she reached out to me and that I now have this in my hands and it's in pretty good condition. Obviously, she did read it and she said that she read it because of me, which is amazing. I feel like I've been on the hunt for another copy of this book for like 2 years. So I'm so happy I finally have it. I also think I'm going to do a vlog of me rereading this and rereading a couple other favorite books. I think it'll just be a fun vlog of me rereading some of my favorite books. So I am so happy that I have this. I cannot believe it. This next special edition, I didn't really have on my radar until I saw it on eBay and I was like, I need to have this because I did not know that this was a thing, even though it was published in like January or something and I did not know about it, which is crazy because this was one of my favorite books of last year, and that is Gothicana by Rue Nix. This is the Bookish Box edition, I do believe. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous edition. I don't know how I did not know about this edition. I was kind of on the hunt for the edition that Rue Nix published herself, I think, with like Vad and Corvina like on the cover. But honestly, I saw this one and I was like, I honestly kind of would rather prefer to have this one. So I ended up buying this one off of eBay, which honestly wasn't really expensive. It was kind of like the same price I would have bought it brand new, considering this would have been like US pricing. So I don't feel like I really spent like an extra amount. I feel like the details are really good on this book. Also, it was still like wrapped in plastic when I bought it, which is amazing. It was like literally unopened. It is also signed. It's probably going to be really hard to tell, but it's signed, which I'm so happy about. And then of course, this is the naked hardcover. It is just so pretty. I love this like green, bluish color. I just love the whole like setup of the special edition. And then this is what the dust jacket looks like, which is of course Vad and Corvina together. It is just stunning. I love the artwork. It is gorgeous. I also just realized this is my 4th copy of Gothicana, which is kind of crazy. I have all my other editions right there. And then the last special edition that I have was one I did on a Facebook buy and sell and trade group. And this was a trade. I traded my copy of King of Wrath by Anna Huang because I had the Indigo edition, which is like the dark brown blackish cover. I had some other books to trade as well, but somebody really wanted that one and they had the book that I really wanted, which was 10 Trends to Seduce Your Best Friend by Penny Reid. This is the Belle Book Box edition and it is beautiful. I think this came out in 2022 and this was my favorite book of that year. So when this special edition was announced, I had to have it. However, I don't think it was like officially announced in the book box until people like got their book box. So I missed out on buying the book box. I also don't know if it was available for purchase or for subscribers. I don't really know how Belle Book Box works, but I ended up missing out on the box and I really, really wanted this edition because I feel like this is a book that is so rare. I just feel like Penny Reid in general doesn't have a lot of standalones. So I feel like her books often don't get a lot of special editions and I just had to get this. I loved this book so much. This is also another book that I really want to reread and annotate. I'm not like super in love with the design or like the special edition itself. I just really wanted the special edition because I love this book. I think the sprayed edges are really fun and definitely kind of give like the social media vibe to this book, which it is kind of about social media. And then there was also this overlay that came with the book, which is the characters, which is really fun. I love this little like art style and this art design. I think it's really cool how it's like literally like parchment paper. And then of course the book is also signed by Miss Penny Reid, which I don't think I have anything signed by her. So this is my first one. But yeah, I'm very happy to have this. I cannot wait to put it on my shelves. Oh, I just realized the chapter headers have designs on them too, which is really cool. So like I said, I'm still in the hunt for the 7-Year Slip, but I'm so happy that I have this one and I have Chasing the Moon and I have another special edition of Gothic Anna. Now I just need the 7-Year Slip and then I feel like my collection will be complete and I don't need any other special editions. I'm honestly so happy with all of my recent purchases. I feel like I am so lucky to get all these special editions, and then I'm so happy that I have read a majority of these books already and I'm excited to read the other ones. I just feel like this is one of my favorite hauls in a very, very long time. I hope you guys enjoyed this haul. Let me know if you have read any of the books that I hauled and what you think about them, or let me know any of your recent book buys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.